Yo, 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 welcome back to Brandon Smooth TV. Back at you with another television series review. If you watch some of my previous videos, you know that I am a fan of Power and I do review the different shows in the Power universe. So recently, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, aired, and I'm going to review the first and second episode. Now, if you're not familiar with the character Kanan, you would have to watch Power. But Power basically showed Kanan as an associate and probably old friend of Ghost and Tommy. They used to work together. They also grew up together, and they had a boss that was actually over them that got murdered. Also, Kanan was the person who took a rap for Ghost and actually went to prison for a number of years. So you can obviously tell they had a beef. Now, I'm glad they're kind of going into his past life because Kanan was one of the most ruthless, I would have to say, and very maniacal and intelligent characters on Power. He was one of the only characters I've seen that I can remember that actually kind of held a candle up to Ghost and his whole mystique, and Tommy, as far as, the toughness side. So this picks up with Kanan's mom, because this is back in the 70s. She's a kid. Her name is Rock. And apparently she's in the dope game. And then Kanan's father, who is no longer with us, he was in the dope game too. Raising Kanan. So apparently his dad dies. We're probably going to dive in later in the series and figure out what happened to his dad. But of course his mother's raising him. And then she has two brothers. An older brother named Marvin. And then a younger brother named Lulu. Now I would have to say Lulu, the younger brother's a little more quiet, a little more smooth, and then Marvin, he's definitely the more outgoing brother. They're both in the game with her, of course, but she's actually running the shots. And throughout the first couple episodes, you can kind of see it's not necessarily tension, but you can definitely tell it's a vibe that maybe Marvin, the older brother, wants to really run the family. He doesn't agree that his sister's in charge. Also, when they're handling some street business, he doesn't necessarily agree with everything she does, and he even voices his opinion a few times. This definitely reminded me of like a Godfather vibe. Not that Marvin's like Fredo, but that the older brother has to take orders from the younger sibling, maybe feeling like they were skipped over. So yeah, that's a weird little dynamic, and I definitely love how that's playing out. Now, Lulu, like I said, the younger brother, he's definitely laid back. And towards the end of episode 2, you definitely notice that Lulu's loyalty is to his sister. I'll get into that. Of course, spoiler alert, y'all, when I go into these two reviews. So make sure you watch it when I review these episodes. Now, Kanan has a crew. One person in this crew we know from the Power series, and that's Jukebox, his cousin. Female, and we know Jukebox from the series. She is relentless, but we get to see her story kind of unfold. As a little girl, she well, not a little girl, they're teenagers, but she's definitely dealing with coming into her own, and if she likes girls or not. Definitely in the series we know that Jukebox likes women. We figured that out, but we kind of got to see like the origin in that and how that happens. And I also think a big part of that is her relationship with her dad. Now her dad is Marvin, the older brother. And they seem like they just have a buddy type relationship. It doesn't really seem like there's any type of parenting really going on too much when they interact. Now, let's see who else we got. His other friend, best friend D-Wiz, and then he got his friend Fame too. But D-Wiz, I think them two were a little closer. D-Wiz is down for whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's loyal to Kanan already, even at a young age, and he's pretty much one of them. He's your wild card. You got to have one in each crew. Makes sense. Now we also get introduced to Omar Epps' character, which is like a cricket cop. I think he started in episode 2. We don't know he's a cricket cop, but we can definitely tell he has some connections with the local gangs, and he's doing his best to try to keep everything under control. But he does seem like he has a very nefarious scheme going on. I haven't really put my finger on him, but he's up to no good. You can kind of tell. And I like Omar Epps' character in this. He's dope. Definitely reminded me of when he's undercover In Too Deep. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. So episode 1 basically shows, how Kanan's kind of living life and how his mother's trying to maintain living an actual normal life with him and with him and her being in the dope game. Like I said, I enjoy most of the characters in this, and Kanan basically he's trying to make a decision because Kanan is super smart. He had this exam that he could have went to one of the most prestigious high schools in New York, and he failed the test on purpose because he is loyal to his mother, he's loyal to his family, and he's loyal to the streets. But I had to illustrate that point to show Kanan's intelligence, that he is very, very smart, and if he maybe had different parenting or different influences around him, he could have went a completely different way as far as he wanted to go. But I'm glad that we're going to see Kanan use his intelligence in the streets to see how this character developed into, who we got in power. Now, like I was saying, as far as Rock's brothers, and Rock is his mother's name. I think it's short for Raquel. But the brothers want the throne. Definitely the older brother. Marvin's making moves outside of the family and doing things I don't think Rock would necessarily agree with. And that dynamic is going to play out very, very well. In my head right now, watching the first 2 episodes and knowing Kanan's character, Rock's not afraid to kill one of her brothers, I don't think. No sympathy, no remorse. Just pow, unrelenting, kill him. If she has to protect the family, she's willing to do that on some Michael Corleone type stuff. And I want to see what's going to end up happening, who's Kanan's loyalty is going to end up going with. Because Kanan, now since he's starting to step his foot in the game and they're giving him a few little more responsibilities in episode 1 or 2, you're going to see that his loyalty might not be to who you think it is. So anyways, Kanan actually, after he failed that exam in episode 1, he actually takes out the competition on the block that was pushing up on one of his mom's blocks, and him and his homie D-Wiz, they go and murder the head dude that was running the block, running the dudes. Now, unbeknownst to Kanan, the mother had actually squashed the beef with the head of that guy's gang and said, look, you can have these blocks. So Kanan ended up killing somebody that she had already made a truce with. So now she has to deal with the repercussions of that. And they try to take Kanan's life and do a drive-by at his house and shoot him when he's taking out the trash. So fast forward to episode 2. Once you get to episode 2, he's back on the streets and he's looking around. But really, episode 2 boils down to this. The leader of the gang, they want blood. One of their head guys was taken out. And just like in the mafia, they want blood. An eye for an eye. So we get through the whole episode. And basically we're waiting for D-Wiz to meet up with Kanan and watch movies. The younger brother, Lulu, he ends up picking up D-Wiz and Jukebox seen him picking him up. But he's supposed to be on the way to Kanan's. He takes him to go get laid because he's a teenager, probably lost his virginity. And then he goes and murders the kid. At the end of the episode, we find out that it was Rock when he calls her and lets her know, Kanan's mother, that had Kanan's best friend murdered. Now, Jukebox seen them two together prior to it happening, and Kanan's not dumb. Kanan's going to put the pieces together that his mom had his best friend killed. But it's something that she almost had to do because it would have either been Kanan or the best friend because they called for blood for whoever shot, and of course a mother's going to choose her son. So the episodes, it's just still new. Episode 2, like I said, I do like the characters. I think everybody's falling into their roles pretty well. But I'm kind of eager to see which direction this is going to go and then see if it can definitely hold a candle up to the original Power. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, thank you.